where you put your worth and your identity, it is very important. And something like physical attractiveness or lookism in general, it's not worthy to be defined by, because it is 0.01% of who you actually are.
Welcome to the Daily Humans podcast. I'm Nina.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome. We're switching roles today because we just feel like it. Trying to think of something new and how to introduce ourselves. That just fell short a bit. So switching names, like I love that I'm Nina. I'm Nina.
Yeah,
I
like
speak German, but I can't.
Oh.
What's hello in German?
Hello.
What's goodbye again? Auf Wiedersehen, isn't it?
Yes.
Auf Wiedersehen. See, I'm German now. I know how to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Let me get some
podcast
water.
is done. Have a good day.
That's British. Sorry. Water. Water. That's it. Water. I got it now.
Oh, love my water. And what's the other one that I taught you?
No.
Yeah, that's right. No. You want to go down to the local fish and chip? No. You want to go to the servo? No.
I said to Ashley before that I feel like when I say nar, that one sounded a little bit better. But usually I feel like I sound like one of those cats in those cat videos that are trying to say hi or like speak like a human. That it's always the energy that I'm getting. I'm like close, but not quite there.
I'm always intrigued on how you think you hear yourself. Because she said it in one of the voice recordings that she sent me. She's like, I don't feel like I'm saying it properly.
Yeah.
But to me, it's exactly right. But I'm wondering what she thought she sounded like just from saying, because it's difficult to say no. Just a lot of R's at the end. And you know, the funniest thing is I don't actually think us Aussies actually realized that we were saying it like that until people started picking it up. And then it went, I think I saw it on TikTok where people are like, why do Aussies say no? Like, no. And I'm like, oh yeah, touche. I have my moments. I'll be like, no, mother, don't do that. You know, think about all the times. I don't know why we extend it with a N-A-U-R kind of spelling. I don't know. Maybe we just want to be different.
I like it.
It's a bit of pizzazz in our non-sexy language. Chris Hemsworth said that the Aussie accent is not sexy, and then at the start I was like, really? But wait a second, Nina, you have to watch the video, because when he actually said like how you doing in the Aussie accent, I thought, okay, when you know, you know. When you've heard guys say it like they're trying to flirt, they're like, how you doing? Yeah, mate, you're beautiful. Go over that, you think, okay, I can hear it. I could actually hear him, and I thought, okay, fair enough. That's a valid thing to say. I have to send you the video. It's not exactly sexy.
It's interesting.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
languages in general are so funny, how people communicate and talk and make words. Because something that I thought about like a couple minutes ago before we jumped on was I hope this is going to make somebody laugh as much as it makes me laugh continuously, because I think it's so funny. You know how in English, when you don't like somebody, or not somebody, but something, or if you were to see somebody on stage, I mean, I don't know if people still do this. I haven't heard it in a while, but they boo people, where it's like, boo.
Oh my gosh.
You know, in German, it's not B-O-O.
Oh, jeez.
It's ooh. I can't get over it. Ooh. I can't. That is just like top tier German for me. Instead of boo, which makes in my mind a lot more sense. It's ooh with a U. I love it.
Imagining being at the AFL because in Aussie, we have the AFL. Just imagine the team kicks a goal and then you have the other side of the team. No, mate. Ooh, fascination. Like, ooh, that is, that's funny.
It's like a really deep, guttural ooh, ooh. It's so funny
Sounds
to
very
me.
sensual. It sounds
Yeah, very,
sensual.
very sexy.
Ooh. Your team didn't
Oh,
kick a goal and the other team did, and you're like, ooh, yeah, that's not
yeah.
good. Get it?
I love that. That's so funny. Oh
You
gosh.
know, the other day too, I thought about, I don't know why, it just randomly popped into my head, but I thought about like an Aussie version of Bridgerton and I was reenacting what that would sound like. And I
Oh
thought that was
no.
absolutely hilarious. Nah, mate, Penelope, it's all good. Don't worry about it, mate. Like, he's 100% gonna come to you, bro. Yeah, no stress. You want some water? Yeah, I'll get you some water. Don't worry. Let's go to the servo together. That's beautiful. We're not walking with our poshness. We're just walking with our
Yeah, with the
yeah.
shoulders. Oh, that's
VB on
hilarious.
the house. Yes, VB, everyone. You get a VB. You get a VB. Oh, mate, you're looking at me like you're wondering if I'm a lady or not. I am.
What's a BB? Is that a beer?
It's like, yeah, that's a good
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Yeah,
That's cute.
a
I
very
like it.
popular beer.
I want a
Mm.
BB. Do you like BBs?
Are you
I like.
BB? Are you BB
Is it
or
not BB?
VB? VB.
VB?
Yeah.
Oh,
V and then a B.
I
Oh,
thought
I
it
used
was
to
a
think it was
BB.
BB.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a
that's a very
beer.
BB.
BB. That's cute. I like it. It's gonna be my thing. I mean, I
Your
don't drink
version's
beer.
cute. I don't drink beer either. I can't stand the
Oh,
taste of it.
yeah.
The
Yeah, it's
first time I
gross.
tried it, I was like, "What is this nastiness? What's this nastiness?" Oh, even the first time I tried white
Mhm.
wine, I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
so do
yeah.
people do this for fun? Really? They drink it for fun? Oh my gosh, like beer." No, no disrespect, but even coffee, I have the thought process of, do people
Mm.
drink this for fun? 'Cause sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like it's just the art of saying you drink coffee.
Yeah.
I'd like a coffee, please, with 1 shot and 1
Mhm.
sugar. Just for the fun of it, to have that experience of espresso because it smells good. It does smell good, but the taste of it, it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to understand. Help me understand coffee lovers, because I actually asked my mum this question. I was like, "So what makes you love coffee?" Or be honest, you drink it, like, just because, right? She's like, "No, the taste is like," and I'm like, "Addictive? You can admit it. Coffee addictions, I think, does exist." No, no, she's trying to explain it to me, but I still just, it wasn't explained to the point where I get it. I don't
Yeah.
get it. What do
I
you think?
agree.
Because you don't drink coffee, do you? No, you don't.
If I do drink coffee, it's like flavored heavily in like caramel, something that's
Ah,
very sweet, and something that is more
yeah.
so latte based. So a lot of milk to
Mm.
cover up the taste of the
A lot of
actual
milk.
coffee.
So
It's like,
you have like a very weak coffee with just like
yeah,
more milk.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I like lattes. I like caramel. I used to drink a lot of hazelnut, but now I'm allergic to nuts, so I can't do that anymore. But yeah, I'm not really a coffee lover. My mom is definitely the one that like knows all the beans and what they taste like. And if you
Mm,
mix this bean and that bean, it'll make like a beautiful, harmonious taste in your mouth. And I'm like, it just all tastes
that's
bitter and
fascinating.
gross. And espresso makes
That's
me tired. which apparently I don't know what the logic behind that is because apparently it's supposed to wake you up, but for me it just makes me sleepy, and it's just that coupled with the taste, I'm okay. I do
Your
prefer,
body knows.
yeah, I do prefer things like matcha lattes or teas, think herbal
Mm.
teas, things like
Ooh,
that. I'm not really a Germany loves fruit teas. It's not really my thing. I like herbal
ooh,
teas, green tea.
ooh, fruit
Um,
teas are delish.
that's a you thing, but
Mm. We'll keep that as a you thing.
yeah,
That's kinda nasty. That's what you say.
it's not
Yeah, I'll
nasty. It's just
100% keep it.
I can't do it. But yeah, anyway,
No, not just like you do you. You drink what you like, your matchas and your
yeah.
weak coffee. I bet it's like this like drip of coffee and the rest is all milk.
Well, it is
Imagine being at a
brown.
cafe. You're like, I just want like a little drop of coffee, but I sold milk, please.
Oh,
I really
I
want to
did
hear your coffee order.
I
Hurry up
did
and come
have
here.
I did have a flat white before, which is apparently more so milk, but I didn't like that either. It was also very bitter. I like more
Mm,
sweet things or flavorful things that are not bitter. I can have some
mm.
bitterness because obviously matcha is a little bit bitter, but yeah, nah, coffee just is not for me. Sorry, coffee lovers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're allowed to not like it, neither do I.
Yeah.
And the amount of times people look at me like, how do you survive during the day? It's like,
Right.
gusto, just pure gusto for life. Yes, yes. You
I'm just
see me, I'm just
passionate.
like walking around like this all day, looking like I'm on coffee, but like I'm just holding on to the rope of life and like, I have a hold of you. This is amazing. And I go home and cry. I don't need coffee to have the adrenaline of trying to keep up with the the glory of human experience and the glory of human life.
Yeah.
Lately, I found little joys in just literally, like today, I sat in the car and I had a hot chocolate with almond milk, and I was just sitting there like this, and I was
Ooh.
like, you know what? This is the moment. This is fine. This is great. This is just perfect. And I take a sip, and I'm like, oh yes, okay. And then when it finishes and it ends, I'm just kind of like, what do I do now? Get another one to fulfill the joy.
Yes, hot chocolate every time over coffee. It trumps it all the time. I don't know
Mm,
why we
yes,
ever
a good one.
ventured into coffee. Like, is that just something that when we were a kid, we were like, oh, adults drink coffee. Let's drink coffee when we're adults. And then
That's what I
put a
kind of
ton of
think.
sugar. Yeah, put a ton of
Mm.
sugar to make it taste like something. But it's interesting to me, even with alcohol, because it's poison. Do you know how alcohol is made? Like, it's poison.
I love cocktails. I can't go about it. I see a cocktail and I'm like, "Ah." Oh,
Oh,
I swear you give me a fruity cocktail in those really nice petite glasses, and I'll turn into a posh lady. Oh, I
with
drip
the
that like,
pinky.
oh yes, put that pinky up and then get that drink in. It's like one gulp, it's done. Oh, my for my 28th birthday, I went to this fun place because I like my fun stuff. And my great aunt brought me a cocktail in a trophy, like a big trophy. I think I
Oh,
sent you the photo. I don't think.
yeah,
I don't think I
yeah,
did. But then I think I did. I don't know. It's one
you
or the other.
did, you did.
Yeah, I did. And she was like to me, like, do you not like it? Because I was drinking it slowly, but honey, I was taking it in. Taking it in, like I was holding this trophy thinking, "I'm a winner, I'm 28, I have riverside wrinkles on my forehead, and I am just taking this glorious cocktail in, and it just tasted magnificent, magnificent." But the funniest thing is, like, afterwards, because there's a lot of cocktail in it's a literal trophy,
Yeah.
people, and afterwards, I was like to myself, I feel like I'm in menopause, but I'm also feeling on top of the world because it was fruity and give me a grapefruit cocktail any day.
Mhm.
Delish. So my dear friend, um, like, whatever you're gonna tell me with what's in alcohol, you can go ahead and tell me, but I'm just telling you, I will most likely ignore it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I don't know what's in it. I think it's ethanol, but I'm not sure what the substance is called anymore. I'm not 100% on that. So for all of you watching, you guys can research it if you want to. But
At
it's
all.
just I watched a documentary before where it talked about the origins of alcohol and how it was created and things from the past and things like that. And I was just like, it's amazing how human beings take something that's not supposed to be edible and can kill you, and they make it a pastime to consume. They're just like, ooh, that fish can kill me. Let me eat it. And let me try to find different ways to eating it. It's just very interesting how human.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It's like Coke, right? You
Yeah.
heard what's in Coke? When I
I,
found out that
yeah.
you boil it and it turns into like a tar,
Yeah, it's
and
tar.
then
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but apparently some place was talking about how they use it to fix the roads
Hmm.
as well, and I was like, luckily I don't drink soft drink. I don't drink soft drink at all. So I'm saying that while drinking cocktails. So I guess I have balance, people.
Right. Yeah.
I don't drink soft drink. I drink alcohol. So whatever is mixing within the alcohol, I get that rather than the double,
Mhm.
triple combo of soft drink and alcohol. You know
Right.
what I
Mhm.
think I feel like that's pretty balanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm content.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. I need your validation with this.
No, listen, I love me some rice wine. And
Rice
just
wine.
rice wine. Yeah, that's my thing. Rice wine, just don't talk to
Have I
me.
heard of
Like
it?
the smell of it alone, just oh my god. It's beautiful. And there are many different flavors. You can get it in strawberry, you can get it in peach, you can get it whatever you want, and it's
Fruity.
perfection. I don't drink anymore, at least for the time being, because of health reasons, but it's just rice wine is life. I had
Maybe don't come here.
rice I had
I'm
rice wine
worried.
actually. Rice wine with what was it? Sweet potato taste. A
Yeah.
flavor. I had it when I was in Korea, and it was just it's something that you when you think about it, it's like that sounds disgusting. It was beautiful. It tasted like sugar. It was everything a cocktail should be and more, or a drink should be and more. I've never actually had cocktails before, so that is something I guess I have to try one
Rude.
day.
Because you're like, I know, drinking, it's got to be a process when you stop for so long, but I'm worried when you come here. I'm a
Why?
little worried
Why?
because I'm not like fully into alcohol, it has to be on a
Mhm.
special occasion and
Yeah,
I have to feel like it. So I don't drink, even
yeah,
on special occasions, I don't always drink.
yeah.
But I feel like when I take you out, I'm just gonna be like, here, try this one. This is a good one. Just consistently every restaurant, this one, this one, this one. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just like feeding her the alcohol after she went so long in Germany without having it. And here she is. Bad
Yeah, it's
influence
okay.
101.
You're a presser, but it's fine. We love you, Ashley. It's fine.
I'm just, I love that your liver is having time to heal. So then when you come here, it's just going to be like going through it potentially. Hopefully
I'll just
not,
drink a
but
lot of
potentially.
water. I'll drink a lot of water. It's fine. I'll take like a
Yeah,
1 liter. I don't know what you guys have over there, 1 or 2 liters water bottle with me everywhere like a crazy person. It's like, oh, that's the American. Yeah,
deep
hello.
water.
Oh,
Like big jugs of water and just
mhm.
1.5. I've carried that around before. Like you can
Just
carry
like working
big,
out.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, working out with your 1.5 liter waters, like, drink that water.
Speaking of water, anyway, I feel like I said that weird again, but
Water.
water.
Water. How do
Speaking
you
of
say
water,
it? I just have to know, how do you say water without saying it like I do?
water.
Water.
In German, it's Wasser, so it's a little bit similar.
Vessel.
Wasser with an R in the
Vessel.
end.
Vassar.
Vassal. Vassar. I love that. Yeah.
Vassar.
Yeah.
Give me a glass of Vassar, please.
I love that. No, please continue to pronounce it this way. This is perfect. You have like the Australian accent with
German
it.
restaurant. I want to go to a German restaurant. I would like some Vassar, please, a glass. Or even in your version. Can I please have a glass of water? It just feels weird just saying water. Water is what I want. Nothing else but water. We have water. We have water. Glass of water.
Water. Yeah. It's so elongated at the end. Yeah.
I know. It just feels a lot more like we're just progressing slowly into asking for a glass of water. It's just a kind of way. It feels so kind apart from just saying just the word like water. I don't know. That's just my interpretation of it.
Oh, but yeah, I was speaking on water. We've talked about health before in a previous podcast episode and talking about the stigmas and everything that surrounds it. And today we just kind of wanted to bring it back up and talk about stuff that we hadn't really gotten into before because the topic of health is massive. As we all know, there's so much contradiction, so much stuff within that field in general. But I feel like, is it controversial? Is it not? I don't know. However, I feel like the thing that is not talked about enough is the problem of body shaming. I do not understand how we have, as a society, gotten into the habit of shaming other people's bodies. Isn't that amazing? Aren't we all just trying to survive? And here we're shaming each other's body parts and what they look like and what they're supposed to look like. It, it is
Human experience is the
insanity.
bomb.
Yeah.
We are absolutely. People say that we are the what do they say that we are? Humans are the what's the word, Nina?
I don't
They say that
know.
animals are below us. They say that animals are below
Superior?
us and any thank you. Couldn't think of it. They say that we're the superior race, but as I always say, I swear, if I was an alien, and this is my main thing, if I was an alien and I came down to this planet and I watched how human beings unfold the human experience and I heard this crap, I'd be like, you are all on this earth, this beautiful earth, and this is what you spend your times doing. Let's get out of here because there's just clearly no hope here. I'll be out of there so quick, like the speed of light, because I'm pretty sure they'd be so advanced in their tech. The aliens out there would be so advanced in their tech, they would just zoom out of here so quickly onto the next planet. Take me with you, because I bet the next planet you're going to is the be all end all.
I actually was going to ask you, do you think aliens bully each other? But I'm just, as I was hearing you speak, I was like, I would assume that aliens would have evolved to the point where they know that their body isn't what is important because they don't even communicate with their mouths, allegedly. It's telecommunication, so mind to
I
mind.
don't
And
think they
so
would
I'm just,
give
yeah,
at all. I think like there'd be like on planet Earth. I feel like there'd be more important things, like way
yeah,
more
yeah,
important things to focus on. So I think they would prioritize that. So let's take, if that's the case, let's take that advice from the aliens, our friends,
right,
and bring that into society because we really are hyper focusing on to me, the most dumbest bullshit that exists in the human race, truly. There's like so much going on out there, and people are, like Nina said, just trying to survive, which actually I'm not even a fan of that because it just sounds like such a point blank misery. There's no further
yeah,
movement from that. Like survival just sounds like it's such a normalization. That's how it should be.
right,
People are trying to have their human experience. I'll say that, and live and be happy in their living and grounded. Because I see people striving for that, and they try.
yeah,
They go to therapy. They heal. They do the inner work. They meet with friends. They have lovers. They do all these amazing things. They create art. And music. Oh, I love music. Thank you for the music. They create so many beautiful things, but then human beings do this crap and it just depletes all the amazing things that people are doing and are
Mm.
going to be doing. This just really takes our beautiful existence and morphs it into such an ugly reality. It is ugly and it hurts every single one of us. It
Yeah.
really does, every single one of us. I bet there's not a single person that's watching this that hasn't dealt with such a projection on their own bodies, and sort of a mindset that attacks the vessel that you're living in because of whatever crap is out there that just keeps passing along and we just keep feeding it and acting like it's a normalization when it just doesn't make sense. Why it exists, it doesn't make sense. It drives me crazy. It drives me
Yeah,
crazy.
it does.
How do you feel,
Yeah.
my friend?
I just I don't know. I've been recalling moments and incidences in my life where people have shamed me for things on my body or for my body or the size of things, and I'm just like, life is so wonderful and beautiful if you want it to be. I feel like this is me in every episode. Life is so beautiful and amazing, and it's
That's
butterflies
every
and
episode,
rainbows.
my friend.
But
We literally are so
humans,
sarcastic to it as well.
music, people can make it miserable, and I don't understand why. Where did we? The thing that I wish to bring up. Um, So, if you're new to this, if you're new to our podcast, if you're just listening in to this for the first time, I went to school to become a medical trainer, and I have learned a lot about the human body, anatomy, all of it. Perfect, fantastic. It's a beautiful thing. However, I think a lot of people bring this point up, and this is something that I really need to discuss. And that's well, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to have a certain body size. It's not healthy to look a certain way. And it's like, there is no picture to health. I wish for that to be received as I sent it out into the universe and the metaverse and all the verses, but there is no look to health. You can be a size 0 or negative 5,000 to a size whatever on the other side of the scale, right? There is no look to, there is no health to what size, quote unquote, you are, or what number, quote unquote, you are. There are things you can go by as reference, but not something that is universal for every single body and every single person. Somebody who is skinny, quote unquote, skinny, considered skinny in society, can be even more unhealthy than somebody who's considered not skinny or have a bigger body size. It is completely, you can be you can be malnourished and still have a bigger body size. I want that to be received because there is no look to health. I want that to be understood. There's only that which you can measure through activity levels or maybe how you feel within your body, illnesses that come up. These can be symptoms and guidelines and guideposts to help you notice things if they are off with your body, but it is not a definition of how healthy you are, of the food you eat, of oh, gosh, it's just so much. I cannot even communicate this because it just drives me crazy that people have a certain look attached to what is healthy because somebody in the gym, can we just talk about abuse of steroids, please? Because there are people pumping iron in the gyms like, oh my God, he's so ripped, he's so healthy. No, it doesn't mean you're healthy. You can have,
Mm.
oh my God, I need to stop. I need to stop because I'm going into rant mode and I want this to be I want this to be a releasing session, but also an informative session. So Ashley, you take the mic from me for a second, please.
There's nothing wrong with ranting, my friend. It's an equal frustration because we've spoken about it in the other episode. The
Yes.
connection to health is not actually about health, and we spoke
Right.
about that last time.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say it again because for the many times that it needs to be said so many times that it's not about health. It never was about health, let's be honest.
Mhm.
Even the conversations that are still surrounding our society today are not about health. They are revolved around how you look and the aspect of look and making sure that your body fits whatever trend and standard that is currently in our society.
Yeah.
And the insanity of it in general, like one part of the insanity, I'll say, is thinking that 8 billion people are going to look the same.
Right.
That 8 billion that 8 billion people are going to have chiseled jawlines. You know, that some of us aren't going to carry some extra weight onto here like I do. It's insanity to me to expect everyone to be walking around without a structure of their face, their own structure, or hereditary that's come down the family
Right.
lineage.
Yeah.
So it's insane to me that a mixture of culture and features, that's not considered. That's not considered at all.
Yeah.
Because if it's not within the ideology of thinness and the ideology of chiseledness and the ideology of certain muscle mass and the showcasing of all of that, like a certain structure of the body, then it must be unhealthy.
Mm.
There must be some abnormality here.
Yeah.
Oh my jeez. And line up all the 8 billion people and give them all plastic surgery because clearly that is what the delusion of all of this wants, is just for everyone to look that. See, you wanted to go on. I can feel it coming to the surface because
Yes.
it's just so, it's just, I actually made a TikTok talking about this the other day because my frustration reached so many different levels as I was scrolling through my TikTok and some of the conversations that people were having. It's not a fault on them, but essentially, there is a responsibility that everyone has when you post online, and it's for all of us, including myself. It is being aware enough, like expanding that awareness of what you're putting out there and how you're putting it out there, right? Without suppressing how you truly feel, right? But if you're going to put it out there, you have to really be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you do have to be careful because you don't know who you're speaking to, you don't know how it's fully going to come across. And with a society that is trying to navigate through a large percentage of people that are really going through it, and I'm not just talking about mental health wise, it's just the consideration. It's just considerate to really
Yeah.
consider our words and consider what we're putting out there, right?
Mm.
So I was scrolling through and we spoke about Nicola in our last episode, but she's kind of like this article came out from some journalist, I believe, and she was a woman too, may I just say, which
Mm.
another disappointing thing. And she decided to have her little projective moment, and I posted a video talking about when I read this article, or just like little bits of it, right? I said on TikTok, I said, this article is not about Nicola. Nothing about this article is about Nicola. It might have her name in it, but it's not directed at her.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of this journalist. It's a reflection of her, how she sees herself, the relationship she has with herself, how she's interpreted society's ideations with looks and health and what looks hot and attractive, what she thinks is attractive. So then she puts herself on that pedestal. She just used Nicola to project, essentially, because it obviously triggered that inner belief system that she has, or multiple inner belief systems that she has. And it's a sad reality, too, because it is not valid to ever do what this person did to
Yeah.
another human being. There is nothing about it that will ever justify that behavior. Nothing. It's inhumane. It's inhumane to ever think that you put yourself in a position of dehumanizing someone else and you are responsible for that. Like, I think that is just the guilt that should really eat you up on the inside, forever dehumanizing another person, you know? But essentially, on the other spectrum of this, I feel sad. I feel sad because this human being really believes this, the person that wrote it. She really believes this. And who knows what she has within her own mindsets and how she thinks about herself. Because, like I said, clearly it depicts the relationship with self. Anyone that does this in general, it really showcases the relationship that they have with themselves. And it's sad. These illusions that we've been passing down for generations have warped people into doing things like this and then holding themselves at certain levels that are really unrealistic. To ever think in your mind that, because she said something like, Colin Bridgerton is too hot to date someone like Penelope
Mm.
Featherington. So to ever think that in your mind and validate that whole narrative, why? Why does he get hierarchied like that? Why are you hierarching someone that you find attractive? Do you hear the she found him attractive, so she hierarchied him? Do you get it? She hierarchied him. She put him on the pedestal and said, people that aren't as beautiful as him, he shouldn't be dating them. So
Mm.
she has this created narrative in her mind. But this is the thing too. It's not just her. Oh my gosh, the amount of times I heard it as a teenager. Oh, he's too hot for, certain
Mm.
people, or this person can't date because they're not at the same level of that person. And now as an adult sitting here, I think, what an illusion. That person's too beautiful. Like, so anyone that is not within their level of beauty, you cannot date them. What are we? What are we?
The Matrix.
What are we? We are. Oh my gosh. That to me, I don't know if people know this, right? But one, you don't get to control your self preferences in a lot of ways. You can create healthy standards and healthy boundaries with them because obviously people can really morph them into a certain, in a negative light, I'll say. Like that does exist, yes. But essentially, who you're attracted to and how that evolves. It's such a natural thing that's a part of the human experience. So for any kind of hierarchy to exist, or for anyone to say, big people are not beautiful, they don't deserve to be loved, to come across with that narrative,
Yeah.
guess what? Guess what? Any body shape and form and height is loved. And shock horror to the system, people, but it is a reality. You just don't always see it, which you don't need to, though. In a world full of this many human beings, everyone deserves to be loved. And that's kind of like the point blank reality here. Everyone deserves to experience love, to feel love, to have love, to be loved. And these kind of illusions that we create, like think about it. What are you allowing them to exist for? Even if you yourself carry them on, what are you carrying them on for? Why do you believe that someone deserves to be pedestaled above you even? Like if you're thinking like the journalist as an example, and you're hierarchying some woman, man, or they, why? What is it about them that's triggering insecurities within you? Or what about them is making you feel like they deserve to be pedestaled like that? Because society has told you that they are they're the, they're the look, they're the it, they're the thing that, not the thing.
The trend.
Yeah, like they're the ideal type to go for. They're the beauty standards. That's really the thing, isn't it? They're the beauty standards. The beauty standards that are meant to, like I said, the beauty standards that are meant to cater for over 8 billion people that
Right.
completely discriminates against certain features, especially in certain cultural backgrounds.
Mm.
Those beauty standards, the beauty standards that have had many of you in depressive states, anxiety attacks, dealing with suicidality because you feel like you're not worthy enough to exist in this society, but you keep also cycling it as well. nothing, nothing about this brings any kind of movement that is good for humanity. There's nothing about it. There's nothing at all. Nothing, nothing, nothing. It's just a sad existence that does nothing but suppress us into, like I spoke about in the last episode, this little box of misery. And then we just stay there and keep projecting on each other. What do you think,
Yeah.
my friend?
I agree. And it's something that has bothered me for a long time, this whole, oh, he's too good for her. Or, well, they don't look like they're on the same vibe. So I don't like that person.
Yes.
They deserve better. Or just their vibe is off. No, it just comes across as very ignorant. But especially when it's regarding body shaming, it is even it blows my mind because several years ago I actually do believe her name is Ashley. I'm not 100% sure, but there was
Oh
this
no, I'm
model.
worried.
There was this model, plus size model. She's absolutely stunning. Also, we need to
I
talk
know who
about
you're talking
labels.
about.
And
I know who you're talking about.
she dated this, like, I guess, super attractive guy with muscles. And they were like, in the comment section of her Instagram, how can he be with her? What? And I see this so often. It is actually it's heartbreaking to me because that was the first time I'd ever run into that personally where I saw somebody else online, especially on a platform, and multiple people go into this person's space on her page projecting something so disgusting and negative. And to this day, I oh man, I have a lot to say. First of all, no wonder. Um, if you're single and you think that way, no wonder. Because people love attraction, a connection comes from genuine beingness. That doesn't even make sense. But genuine accountability and acknowledgement and awareness of self, being aware of yourself, being open about yourself, wanting to share yourself with another person, it comes from character traits within your soul, within your body, within what you've learned about life and who you are. It is not 100% attached to body or visual or lookism. And there's so much lookism going on in this world that it's disgusting to me because I
Mm.
how could you ever look at somebody and say you don't deserve to be with that person, they look better than you. What? It blows my mind, and it is something that I do not understand because oh man, I don't know. It's crazy to me that look is it's so I said this before, I will say it again. To me, this is connected to capitalism, materialism, and then placing that on the human, the spectrum of being
Mm.
human, and then capitalizing, segregating, punishing, suppressing people who do not fit in a certain narrative of what is considered beautiful. We've said this
Yeah.
before. Beauty ranges, uh, types range, bodies are different in every single culture, in every single country, all across the world. How dare you look at one person and say, you're not allowed to be with this person because you don't have the same look or the same vibe or on the same level. It is scary to me that it's gotten
Mm.
to the point of people being with each other just for the way that they look, just for the way that they look. There are couples that come together. It's like, oh, you and I look like we would be a hot couple, so let's be together. And they live a life on that basis. And I mean, I guess if you seek fulfillment in that way, if that makes you happy, go ahead and live your life. You're not hurting anybody. But at the same time, to people who project this, either in person, in family units, online, wherever it may be, you really need to take a hard look at yourself because you're talking about a human being, a soul. People fall in love with their souls. They don't fall in love only on the physicality of that. That is literally the least, that is the aspect that matters the least when you're in love with
Can you
someone.
imagine? That man murdered that man murdered someone, but my God, she's just so attractive. I'm just 100% gonna marry him. Like it's set and
Yeah,
done.
that it
That's what it'd be like.
happens.
And you just wouldn't care. Yeah, it probably it 100% would. Just don't care
Just
about who they are as a person. It's just because
They're so hot. I just have to marry them because they're hot.
and that's just
oh
it.
my
Imagine
gosh.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. How many times have we seen it with celebrity culture as well, where you have people
Mm.
be terrible human beings, do terrible things, and then it's like, well, he's hot, he dances nice, he's so
Yes, Brad Pitt,
handsome.
101. Brad Pitt, have you heard about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard. I
Yeah.
was referencing Chris Brown, but we'll be here all
Oh
day
yeah,
if I
Chris
get
Brown
into
as well.
the story. It's just, I am concerned. And to further get into this discussion, I also just want to say the people that we see represented in media, right, that are supposed to represent or be the voice for people who have quote unquote larger bodies. Ashley has said this to me in private, and I'll let her say this and bring it across to you guys herself. But they're they have normal bodies. They're not like, I feel like the representation that we're being shown isn't as diverse as it should be. You know what I mean? Because we have, oh man, this is just, I'm having a lot of things come up as I'm speaking right now with clothes, buying clothes. Pink tax, being a woman and just buying clothes in general is a lot more expensive than the quality is low. Then you have to pay more for extra sizes or sizes that are quote unquote not in the normal quote unquote range, right? And it's like, what is normal? What are we
Mm.
idealizing as normal? What are we defining that as? Because when we get into the discussion of clothes, aren't clothes supposed to fit the human body? And yet humans want to fit the clothes. Humans want to fit the clothes instead of clothes fitting the human body. Imagine that. it is it is insanity to me. And when it comes to health, again, the way your body looks does not mean or define how healthy it is on the inside. That is completely irrelevant to the way things appear. And I think all in all, this goes
Mm.
down to that. The way things appear aren't what they seem to be. Like there
Mm.
is more than meets the eye when it comes to life, quoting Transformers, but it's just, there is. And for you to devalue a soul, a person, a human being with emotions and feelings and wants and needs and desires in life because of the way they appear, and if it doesn't
Mhm.
fit your definition of beauty, it is disgusting to me. Never in my life, not one time in my life, have I ever looked somebody and judged them for their body, for their size, what they have, what they don't have, anything visual or like materialistic or lookism centered. And I think, like I said, this society right now with where it's at, it's so centered on aesthetics. You gotta have the perfect nose and the perfect background that's beige and white, and you gotta have the perfect car, and you just gotta look perfect, and nothing can be, you can't have a pimple, and you can't have chubby arms, or you can't have strawberry legs. You gotta have legging legs too. And it's just, it is insanity. What is going on? And the things that we call diverse, right? The things that we see in the media, not that it really represents real life anyway, but the things, the people that are put in place in the media to represent diversity aren't diverse enough. And that doesn't fall on the individual that's in the media itself, but it's just with Bridgerton and what you said with Nicola and this article that came out. I'm like, it is devastating to me that you would degrade life
Mm.
on such a public level when, and Bridgerton, that's, it's fictional, but still this applies to real life situations because this happens in real life, that you would suppress a soul, a human life, because of the amount of, I don't know, fat tissue that they have in their cells in their body, or for the way that they look dressed in a certain way, or how tall they are, or what they look like, or what that guy looks like. Because to me, what that actually signifies is you idolizing men. and putting them on a pedestal, like you said, Ashley. And it's like, oh my God, there's a man. I gotta throw every single other woman under the table that doesn't look like me because I actually want to be with him. And if you are not me, and if you don't look like me, then you clearly aren't. You don't deserve him. Who do you think you are? And I see so many women do this, and it's women especially who should know what it's like to be objectified. How dare you? How dare you? Where do you get your power from? Because that's not power. It's just you being a bully. I cannot, the older I get, the more I get less tolerant of bullies. And it really devastates me seeing things like that because I don't know, call it naivete, but I do not understand how you can look at a person, be like, you don't deserve to be happy or be in love or be with this person or have what it is you have because of the way you look. How dare you? And that forms into so many, body dysmorphia. It causes so much injury to a person, how they see themselves to the point where they don't think they can reach for more or have more or be happy or have love or be loved for who they are and what they look like because they don't fit a certain narrative of one person's opinion that was based on another person's opinion that was there to objectify you and ridicule you and suppress you as an individual as a whole. I do not understand, and I never will, and I don't think it's okay. And for people to go online and spew whatever it is, well, it's you're not being healthy, you need to be healthy. Are you healthy? Because it doesn't sound like it. Because if you're actually genuinely concerned about a human being's health, you would never speak to them that way. So yeah.
That's right. Mic drop moments.
I'm
If
so
you
mad.
if you were healthy, truly, and not just physical as well, but mental as well, you would never, ever fathom having the conversations about human beings like
Right.
many of you do. You wouldn't fathom it. Truly.
Yeah.
And just to say too about the Instagram thing, all the comments that women make in terms of like, how is, you know, how did she get him kind of thing, and men do it too. It just falls back to what I said about the journalist. It's this inner belief system that has been embedded within an ingrained ideology that within them that pedestals certain features, certain attractiveness of someone, pedestals at hierarchies that, and potentially them themselves don't feel like they can date someone within what they consider to be attractive because they have insecurities within themselves that think, I'm to this or I'm to that. I'll never get someone that I'm attracted to or someone like that because look at me. This is how I see myself. Everything is a projection. It's a self-projection and it shows you all who that person is, the relationship that they have with themselves. And it's just, again, it's a symbolism of what has been passed down for generation and installed in each of us. Because Nina says she's never judged anyone before. I have, 100%. There was a large part of my life where, because of the features I didn't like about myself, if I saw those features on other people, I 100% thought a certain way about it. I would never project it, even if I'm currently still working through insecurities, but I would never, ever fathom, ever projecting it on another human being. Never. Because the self-awareness and the healthiness of that self-awareness is knowing that your insecurities are your responsibility. It's also society's responsibility as well to break free of these. I love how I just, like, my mouth just did like a break. To break free of these illusions. They are, like, there's no other word to describe it other than illusions, truly. I think it's definitely important to admit the reality that these cycles have affected us and how we have internalized them ourselves. That's the self-awareness and the self-responsibility and accountability that we need to have, except for writing articles about other human beings and dehumanizing them, except for going into comment sections and saying, why are you dating that person? They're too good looking for you. Except for just projecting the things that you project because that's how you feel about yourself, right? Or projecting because you believe your self-preference deserves to be hierarchied enough to try to make society change the way they look to fit it. I've said that so many times, and I will say it a million more because the amount of human beings that use your words to control how others look, to fit a comfortability that you have, to fit your self-preferences. And all I can think is the audacity that you have to validate yourself like that, to validate ever trying to control someone else to meet your preferences. It's like the narrative of it reminds me of like the narrative of men paying for women to get their breasts done, but it's only to fulfill their self-preference of how they
Yeah.
believe they should look. Like it falls under that kind of control of trying to change someone to fit a self-preference. And even the look thing too, like dating someone based on looks and just on that narrative. Essentially, in a relationship, it is everything human. The look aspect is like the surface level, but it cannot be a long-term level.
Yeah.
You know, you're human beings, and when you're living together, it's a whole new world. Even just spending time with each other is a whole new world. Nina and I are friends, but we've had to navigate through conversations. We've had to navigate through the highs and the lows. Can you imagine if we just went on looks? We wouldn't even talk. Like, how would you even have a human to human conversation at that point? The whole conversation would be just like, "You're so hot." And then
Yeah.
Nina would be like, "You're so hot." I'd be like, "You're so hot." Just consistently imagine just the ego of that, just consistently validating the surface level, and then you don't go any further than that. Like living that life, that kind of life, but yet people are essentially, because when you project the way that many do, you essentially want that life. But then here's the funny thing: human beings talk about desiring love. Human beings talk about desiring communication and affection and physical touch or affirmations. Well, guess what, human beings? To have that is to be connected to your humanness. And this surface level look aspect that we're going for, there's none of that is connected to the trueness of what it is to be human. It's just surface level. It doesn't go any deeper than that. What you're asking for will not be found in the self-preferences that you hold on to. They will not be found there. And even then, being in a certain mental state where you're able to be healthy enough to validate your passion, your spirit, your soul, your loves, your desires, and other people in such kindness and compassion and empathy. Oof, that's hot.
Yeah.
Consent is hot. Assertiveness is hot. Open-mindedness is hot. That is the kind of stuff that really makes someone, to me, so attractive.
Yeah.
It's just like that moment of where the sun beams down from the sky and their kindness is just shining, you know, because
Yeah.
they're in touch with it. The essence of that, to me, it's being in touch with your humanness so much that you get that people are human. You get it. You get that you're human. Not about perfection either. Okay, limiting beliefs are part of this cycle. This is an imperfect system, but breaking down the perfection model that society has created to tell people that are fat that, hey, you don't deserve to be loved and valued. And it's everywhere too, may I just say. That narrative is everywhere. When I watch TV shows like Friends, I love
Gosh, yeah.
Friends, I do. I love The Big Bang Theory. But the thing I've consistently heard is the fear of being fat. And they
Yeah.
really promote that.
Yeah.
And then you see it online too. This is what I was talking about, where people post certain videos. And I know that a lot of you are talking about how you really feel, but why did you feel that way in the first place? Why do you fear being fat? Or was it, let me say it like this: why do you fear being fat? Because essentially it's meant to be about your health, right? Isn't that the whole point? But yet most people talk about the fear of looking a certain way, the fear of being overweight. It's never about the health aspect. Are you healthy? Is your liver healthy? Are your kidneys healthy? Nina said it. Health doesn't have a look to it. So really, it's this internalized, essentially, fat phobia. And I don't like a lot of labels. I really don't. But in this case, I'm going to use that label. It's internalized fat phobia, where you fear being a certain weight that you consider to be fat, or you consider to be whatever kind of words that you've connected to that, whatever labels you've connected to that, whether it's ugly, unattractive, unlovable, etc., etc., etc. That has come from the generations, like the 90s, the early 2000s,
Oh
the
my
trends
gosh,
that went
yeah.
around. That has been a generational thing, dating all the way back. Oh my gosh, imagine if it's dated all the way back to the moment the human beings existed. I kind of doubt it, but essentially, I know when this first started to become a part of our reality, but just from learning certain parts of history, medieval times, Regency times, there were conversations about weight. There were so many conversations about weight. More like Regency times, it's just, and even though they're fictional movies, they still depict a lot of the ideologies. And I've spoken about this so many times, how it gets passed down from the generations, but it just changes shape. It just changes narrative, but it's still there. The essence of that projection is still there. And it's never about health, but everything to do with looks. The way that Friends depict it, like I'm saying, The Big Bang Theory, even movies, even the movie Mum. The TV show Mum, MOM. I actually like that TV show, but the internalized fat phobia shows they have a fear of fat. They even put on a fat suit during the TV show at one point in the episodes. One of the characters, Jill, puts on a fat suit. And I mean, they don't go about it fully like I thought they would, but essentially they still have certain projections towards her sudden weight gain.
Mm.
And it's insane to me too, because for women, these conversations are never about our hormonal cycle. They're never about the reality, even though it's starting to be talked about. Just the amount of things that exist that really create a roller coaster when it comes to our body shape, even aging as well. Things change. And that should just be the pinnacle of all of this, is that things will change, things will happen. Your body will be navigating through its own process within aging, within whatever you do with your life, whether you sit at an office job, your body's got to navigate through, like sometimes that can take away mobility when you're sitting for long periods of time. Like your body's got to really navigate through things. If you've been in hospital for a large period of time, I've heard stories that the spine can start to create scoliosis from that. Our body kind of shapes and shifts and it does all these things. So these illusions are invalidating the human body, which in a whole just creates so much stagnation in movement when it comes to advocacy for human. I'm telling you all, like, how can we progress through being emotionally, mentally, and physically healthy if this is what we're going to keep doing? Physical health as well. This doesn't help physical health. These conversations don't help physical health because you're not validating the reality that many people face. And a lot of us have no idea to the extent of what someone is going through. You see someone and you create a narrative in your head. You have no idea. You don't have their doctor's forms, but even doctors invalidate it too. And they have their forms because it comes from a really ingrained, programmed, taught distaste, disdain, ideology. I said this too in a TikTok as well. I referenced it as the one image, the one body type image. So imagine that you've been programmed to see a certain body type as whatever label, like I said, whether it's unworthy, unlovable, unattractive, blah, 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 right? You go through life, especially if you're young and you get told all this crap, you go through life, looking through life through that one image. You look at everything in life through that one image. You don't question it, you don't change it, nothing, right? And I spoke about it. When body positivity started to come into the narrative, the the people that were looking at life through this one image were the ones raging.
Those bodies are unhealthy.
That's disgusting. Stretch marks are not normal. Cellulite is not normal.
Aging is disgusting on a woman.
Ew, hair on a woman. Oh my gosh, the audacity. Women shouldn't have hair. These were the conversations that were starting to come up. And it's like, do you realize that the image that you're looking through, the one body type image, was a created illusion? So basically, you've just been continually focusing on an illusion for a majority of your life, thinking that nothing else exists but this one image. And that's what a lot of you do. And I used to do this too, okay? It's not a fault, but it is about recognition that a lot of us have been looking through this one image and trying to mold our life to it, and then mold society to it, and then also project on anyone that doesn't meet this one image. But who does this one image cater? Because even if a human being met this image, they can't fully. They can't. Look at Barbie, the ideology of Barbie. In turn, she is a doll, right? So, but if we put her in a real human body, she is a human being. She's a human being that's going to come with her own humanness of it. And that image that is so based on looks, right? That is just so in looks, right? If she started showing emotion as a woman, she'd be projected on. If she started to show things that society deems as that society stigmatized, she'd be projected on. So you're looking at her through this one image while invalidating the actual reality. That's my point. Nothing about this is reality. It's an illusion, and you're just consistently focused on that. You're blinded by it, people. Because so was I, blinded, trying to mold myself for as many years as I tried to look within this one image. But why? Why? This body gonna rot one day in the ground. Why would I want to waste my entire existence looking through life in this one image and also enforcing it on myself? What is the point of that? I'll put that on my gravestone. Ashley's purpose, living through the one image. Are we all going to have that on our own gravestones? Is that going to be a reality? We're just going to keep navigating through life like that, and then that's going to be our purpose? Is that our human purpose? Is that what we want to be remembered for in the future generations? It's so robotic for me, I feel like it's robotic in a lot of ways to just march forward and then just like have that TV in front of you, like in that movie. Can't remember the movie where they're on like chairs and they're looking at things through that TV.
Surrogates.
Just imagine people, just imagine people marching through life with the TV in front of their face, and it's just that one image of life, that one body type. I've got to meet it. I've got to be like it. You're not like it. You're ugly. Oh, that's what it feels like. It's just people marching through, project, back to the one image. Project, back to the one image.
Yeah.
That existence as a whole, you know, it's insane. And I said this also in the video as some last things to say. Nicola and the projection on Nicola, her body is a body. It's just that. Because sometimes I also get tired of the labels like mid-size, this size, that size. And I understand for those that it works for you, you do you. But for me, it's like, you got to place her in a box. Why do we need to section people off here? You know, a body is a body. Because essentially too, may I just say, like, my waist is what people consider mid-size, and then my like below side is considered plus size. Like, it's just, the sizing too is so different. Like, I can be a size 14 to 16 up top and then a size 20 below. Like, what then? Where do I fit in the segregation here? You know? Nicola's body is a body. My body is a body. It's just a body. Nina's body is a body. It's different structures, different forms, different heights. Again, hereditary as well, with features and looks. And some of us, we have a shorter neck. Oh, sure. Isn't everyone on this planet meant to have long necks? As I said, isn't everyone meant to have chiseled jawlines? Every baby that comes out, let's program them. Let's tell them their first words, chiseled jawline, chiseled jawline. We are different for a reason, because that is the beautiful thing about the human existence. And to me, it is incredibly inhumane, because there's no other word that I can describe it as, to say otherwise, to act otherwise, to segregate me as an example, because she's got a double chin. Great. This is my structure. This is my body. And I will never allow anyone to have their little projections over it too. This is mine. All of this, my tits, everything, this is mine. This is all mine. Mine. And it's structured the way it is because it just is. It just is. And there's reasons. And I'm aware of them. And I do what I can and I advocate for them. And I work hard for it too. And I always will. When a problem comes up with my body, I don't hate it. I don't discriminate against it. I love it and I listen to it. I have my moments of frustration, 100%, because I just want to move. You know, Nina knows this. I literally say it to her all the time. Nina, I just want to move. And like my body's like, no, you're not going to move for as long as I need you to not move, you know. We have our retracts. But at the end of the day, what society projects, I will never do it to my own body anymore, because it is not worth it. It's not worth the pain, the healing, the trauma. It's an illusion, and I'm not going to put myself, and I hope none of you do put yourself. It will never be worth your amazing, passionate selves to ever, ever, ever hierarchy something that is only meant to keep you down, to keep you stagnant, to keep you blocked, to keep you in the consistent competitive cycles of your worth, being only subjected to how you look and your weight when people have no idea. They don't know. They don't know. You know. You know. And you deserve to go out there and be in the space that you're in with the beautiful body that you have. And it's okay if you have your moments too, but you deserve that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just, I had a lot of feelings come over me hearing you talk, because it's a lot of sadness, because
Yeah.
fat shaming, body shaming in general is something that is across all the genders and affects men, it affects women, it affects everybody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes me sad as a woman. I will speak from that perspective. It makes me sad as a woman because we already struggle with so much with not being seen and heard for our pain and the things we experience in the health industry, to then have that on top of everything else, where yet again a woman gets dismissed for her experience in her body and gets ridiculed and put down. And for anybody out there, regardless of what you identify with or not, gender wise, I've seen so many videos of people just being like, "Oh, you wouldn't date me because I'm so and so, or because I'm, overweight or whatnot." And every single time, it breaks my soul, because you're restricting not only yourself with that mentality, but also other people when you project it upon them. We are born free people, supposedly, but we are born able to express ourselves and live and create the life that we want to. We have so much potential. We have so much within our capabilities. So much is available to us. And yet we put people in these boxes, in these prisons, mental ones, sometimes physical ones, but the mental ones stick with you, and it makes it all the more harder to break free from that. Because, like Ashley said, if you are actually coming from the perspective of health, you would know, just like Ashley said, that none of that conversation actually aids a human being in getting healthy in the way that you think they should. Even if it's not in the way that you think it should. Nobody goes to the gym out of self hatred. There are people who abuse it. Absolutely. There are people who abuse all types of substances and things, quick fixes, whatever. But that is only there because of this shaming. It is there because of the suppression and the judgmental mentalities, the projections, because people don't, it takes time for anybody on this earth to change, whether that on whichever platform it needs to be, right? But people go to quick fixes, so to say, because they can't deal with the pain of being in their body or in their own experience of life anymore due to the projections that other people place on them. And it's like, if you genuinely care about human life, about people, about health, you would understand that the physical body is, like I said, even in relationships and all things, it is one aspect to a much larger picture. You do not know what that person is going through. You do not know what is attached to that weight. You do not know what life they're living, what causes them to be in the situation that they're in. Like, there are so many factors to weight gain and body positivity and just life in general that it's not just down to, because I hear this all the time, you're lazy, that's why it's you look like this, or you have this, or it's not working out. It's not about laziness. This is not about health, even when you come at it with that perspective. And so, to anybody out there who does have that perspective, who comes from that angle, who is listening to us, well, I disagree. Well, so do I with you, and that's okay. But I really ask you to evaluate where that is coming from. Because, like I said, you are limiting yourself. You are restricting yourself, because this mentality doesn't just show up here. It shows up in all areas of your life. And if you think that a human being's worth is based on the way they appear and the way that they look, that is then an internalized thing, just like Ashley pointed out. And it will never get you to the core of what life is really all about, because you're just dancing around the crust. You know, the earth itself has many different layers. So why wouldn't life, why wouldn't people? And you really need to dissect and start pulling apart where your opinions come from. So,
Yeah. Challenge them, essentially. If society is consistently going through its changes, then why can't, no, let me say it like this. If society is consistently going through its shifts, so should ideologies. The fact that a lot of ideologies that we have stay the same in a forever changing society, movement, essentially, I remember this quote, movement is life. I don't know where it came from, but I heard it from somewhere. And that also comes with our inner belief systems as well. Is that if there's one thing I know from the older generations, is that they hold on to the narrative that food is everything. Food is the problem of everything. And it's the only reason. But the conversations are now revolved around the fact that trauma plays a massive part. The mental health, your mental health plays a massive, massive part in your physical health. The fact that you can be immobilized because of depression for weeks and months on end, which then affects the physical health as well. And I actually said this today to the osteopath that my mother and I see. I said to her today that when I think back to all the years of unfoldings that occurred that led to my body to where it is today, it makes perfect sense, honestly, because all the moments that, you know, the episodes would keep me in my bed and I had no reason to get out of it. I had no strength or energy to leave my bed, none at all. And a lot of us know what that's like, nothing. All that time in my bed would have 100% played a part on my physical health. But how do you acknowledge your physical health if you can't acknowledge your mental health? These are the kind of conversations that if you truly care about human beings, if you truly care about health, you will take the deep dive into the acknowledgement of many of these realities. Just how much trauma plays massive parts on your body. Storing trauma as well. If you've been through abuse, any type of abuse, what that does to the body, there's books about it. The Body Keeps Score is one book that I've read. The Body Keeps Score by Dr. Vanderkolt. I haven't fully read it yet, but when I heard the explanation on what it's essentially about, he talks about his experiences dealing with certain clients and realizing just how much the body holds on more than what we think. Trauma stores itself for differently for women as well. We're more prone to chronic illnesses because of it, because of stress. Imagine the influctuations that would cause people. Again, our hormonal cycle. People still hold on to the narrative of their teenage selves and how they looked back then, the weight. But when you start aging, though, like I said before, the process changes. It's different for each individual. There are so many layers to this. And if you, like I said, if you truly care about human beings, you will know that, even just acknowledging that. You look at someone that is going through a food addiction, there's a reason. There's a reason why they're going through a food addiction. When therapy is not available for them, like alcoholism, there's a reason why. Gambling, right? They all exist for a reason. Deep dive into it, except for being a bully about it. Take a deep dive and educate yourself if you really care. Otherwise, you're really going to show who you actually are and what your real agenda is,
Yeah.
which is just to project. You want a platform to just be mean, to be a bully, to just project on people. You don't actually care about helping them. Because I guarantee, like Nina and I have been saying the whole time, if you did, you wouldn't do it this way.
Yeah.
There are so many layers to this. And as I've been in mental health and realized it myself through navigating my own journey, the part that it plays is major. And even when physical health conditions come to the surface, you don't think, I never thought in a million years that the physical health conditions that I have would be the main culprits of the instability of health. You know, the taking of mobility, like the difficultness of breathing, even being an asthmatic. And then when you get like bronchiolitis or pneumonia, which I had both last year, it creates scar tissue on the lung, which then once you've healed, let's say the pneumonia and the bronchiolitis, then you've got to heal the scar tissue, which then takes time. And imagine that. If you're not able to walk or move because you can't breathe, what do you think that does to your body? That creates other problems. But people don't consider that narrative, right? People don't consider that narrative. There's so many layers to this. You look at a human being and you create this one image, this one narrative, you're doing it wrong. And I normally don't like to say there's no right or wrong way, but in this case, if you project an advocacy of care and this is how you do it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I am so firm on advocating for human beings that have never been heard, seen, and validated that it's not funny. Like I will 100% put my fist down on it, especially for myself, because we deserve to be heard and humanity deserves to be seen in the lights that they've never been seen in before, especially people that have gone through the most heinous things in the world and their body is holding on to so much. And then you have people come to them and say, you need to lose some weight. You need to do this. You need to do that. Eat less. Go to the gym. If you're talking to someone that's been through a continuous unfolding of trauma throughout their life, which has been violent on their own body, you have actually no idea, but you've created this narrative by how they look. You're invalidating because they may not even know themselves
Right.
why they have tension in the body, why they're consistently sick because their immune system is compromised. Their nervous system is so dysregulated because having a nervous system that is so dysregulated causes health issues.
Yeah.
Shock horror. Shock. Would you consider this when you want to go and comment on someone to go to the gym and just do all this stuff? Are you considering the layers of it? When you are fat phobic and you project that outwards? No. Because in the point blank of this, I just think that a lot of people want the opportunity to project, to heighten themselves. I really feel like a lot of this comes down to just a feeding of an instability within, an insecurity within that needs this, that fit. Ooh, you want to talk about addiction and unhealthiness? What do you think that is when you have to go online and just be fed, like sit there or look at your phone and then comment something and I got them. I was being mean. I got them. Look at their reaction. Feeding like an energy vampire, feeding, feeding. You're sitting there laughing and taking it all in. My meanness is being seen. I would actually say that that is a big issue within our society is is bullying, is the inhumanity that exists. We were actually rated in Melbourne, I think it was Melbourne, we were rated actually one of the worst bullying, how do I
Oh,
say?
wow.
There was something came out statistically that our bullying in schools in either Victoria or Melbourne, I can't fully remember, is one of the worst.
Wow.
Children are getting this from adults. Children are getting this from adults. And it's all online.
Yeah.
It's all there for you to see, and people don't see how. And that's probably for another conversation in general. But all in all, the fact that a lot of you see weight as the problem, but you don't see your behavior as the problem, you don't see your inhumanity as the problem, that is a problem. Because then you will jump online and express your sadness for a child that has died from suicide. You will jump online and express your upsetness that someone that you love, like a celebrity, is being targeted for their weight. You'll jump online and talk about how you've been projected on in certain ways, but yet you've done it as well. Like I said before, people want to be loved and heard and seen and validated. Majority of humanity wants that, right? Yet they can't even see their own inhumanity that they're projecting. And that's not the priority. Oh, it's the biggest problem to me is that weight is so focused on, but not who people are as human beings. That is what pisses me off. We allow inhumanity because we're so hyper focused on how people look. That matters more. Brad Pitt is so good looking that apparently what he's done to his wife and children doesn't matter because he's just so good looking. That is how delusional humanity is. That is how it is. To even send letters to the man that murdered his wife and children, I can't remember his name because I don't want to remember his name, but it was all over the news in America. People sent him letters in jail. Women sent him letters in jail.
Yeah.
That is not a problem. That's not something to self assess. And like I've been saying this whole time, even just validating yourself, being a projector to your family members, to the people you're apparently loving, apparently you love them, to your partner, and you say that's love, but you'll never assess why they tell you it's wrong. Like there are so many issues within human behavior that need our attention, how we're treating each other. We're losing so many people to suicidality, and people are jumping online talking about how we should care about it more. Well, guess what, people? This is one of the things that a lot of you keep cycling through and passing on, and you just don't want to see it. You want to hyper focus on how everyone looks and not who everyone is.
Wow.
It's never going to change. The generations will be continually, it's never going to change if we don't start seeing the things that actually should be seen and put the image, the little one image thing in the bin, shred it for all I care, throw it out. Start seeing people, start seeing yourself, see, open your eyes, look, listen. My gosh, we're suffering for reasons. This is one of the reasons, and we will continue to if we don't change.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Life
my little
can
rant.
change. Life can change in the blink of an eye. And
Yeah.
your body will someday not be able to do the things that it does right now. Maybe you're already experiencing that with disability of some sort, but
Mm.
people who have had health issues and know what it's like to not live in an able body, while living in a very disability unfriendly world. It's just,
Yes.
I feel like people can also really relate to that, because it's like you have this standard, but there are people who exist far greater outside of that. And the more you pressure yourself to look a certain way, let's say you have a supermodel body right now, but you know that can change in a blink of an eye. I would never hope that for anybody, of course, but where you put your worth and your identity, it is very important. And something like physical attractiveness or lookism in general, it's not worthy to be defined by, because it is 0.01% of who you actually are. You are not who you look like. You are not comprised. Your whole entire worth and being is not comprised by that. What your body can and cannot do. You are so much more than that. And I always end every single episode saying that, because it's something that I don't think a lot of people really hear. And it's something that I have to remind myself a lot of as well, where it's like I am in a current position health wise where I'm not able to do what I used to do. And there are days when it's like it gets a lot. But then when I zoom out of things, I'm like, well, wait a minute, here are all the things I can do. I'm still alive. I'm still here. I still get to do what I want to do. And isn't that what the body is actually for? For you to be able to live a life, your life, and to be dismissed because of the way you look or what you can and cannot do for your body size, weight, height, whatever, is such a degrading space to be in that everybody deserves to be liberated from, because there's so much more. So I love what you said, Ash. Everybody's concerned with the way that they look, and we should be concerned with who they are. It's a beautiful sentiment, and something that I definitely would love for everybody who listens to this or watches this episode to really take with them. How are some ways that you can learn to see people for who they are, not for what they look like? And even yourself as well, because you deserve more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, my friend. Yeah, that's something to leave with all of you. So, thank you for listening to this episode.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
And we hope to see you for next week's episode. Well, not see you, but you hear us in the next episode.
Unless we see you,
So
unless you
until
stop
then.
by our places, which don't do that, please.
Don't do that, please.
Very kindly.
See you, friends. Take care,
Bye.
Ganyas.
Yes. Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen.